In this Star Wars Outlaws news update video, I will be sharing with you the patch notes of today's new update. Plus, we have a few other news updates relating to the game as well to go through. Before we do take a look at everything though, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on Star Wars Outlaws. So firstly, I just want to quickly make you aware about a huge video I put out last week, where I shared some potential future content coming to the game and a bunch of cut content. It took me like 50 hours to make and not many people watched it, so I would appreciate you checking out that video after you've watched this one if you haven't already. Thank you. So let's get started with today's update, and that is update 5.1, which massive released today for all platforms. This was supposed to come out last week with the launch of the 50 series GPUs from Nvidia, but there was some delay for whatever reason. It wasn't the only game that got its DLSS 4 patch delayed, but it is out right now across all platforms. In terms of download size, it comes in at just under 2GB on PS5, a bit over 3 on Xbox Series X and S, and then the PC version on both Steam and Ubisoft Connect comes in at almost 4GB. So this update was always expected to be a small update. It was going to bring DLSS 4 and improvements to PSSR, but that's about it. It does include a few other things, which I'll get into, but any expectations for this to be a major gameplay changing update like the previous ones was out of order because based on what we've been told. I do want to answer a question that many people have asked me though, and that's when are we getting news for the second DLC featuring Hondo, A Pirate's Fortune? And at this moment in time, we have zero idea. There is no indication from Ubisoft and Massive when we will hear anything about the next DLC. However, in case you don't know, Star Wars Celebration is happening this year in April. The DLC is still scheduled for April. If I had to guess, we will probably see something around Celebration. That's just me guessing. That's pure speculation, but I feel like that would make the most sense. Until then, we'll just have to wait and see. But of course, if there is anything, I will make a video, so make sure you do stay subscribed for that. Let's now go through the patch notes. So, kicking things off, we have a fix for a crash issue that would occur on streaming platforms such as GeForce Now and Amazon Luna when you would travel to Rempali Station. On the non-cloud PC version of the game, they have added support for Nvidia 50 series GPUs. They've also updated the DLSS version to be DLSS 4, and this enables multi-frame generation on 50 series GPUs, but of course not many people will have one because Nvidia did not create enough chips and retailers did not have any in stock. If you do have one though, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I don't have a 50 series GPU, so let me know down in the comment section below your experience using multi-frame generation in this game. Single frame generation is now faster with reduced VRAM usage for 50 and 40 series GPUs. Plus, a new transformer AI model has been implemented for DLSS ray reconstruction, super resolution and DLLA, which works across all RTX GPUs. This enhances stability, lighting, and detail in motion. It does come at a little bit of a performance cost, but I would say overall, the image definitely is better with this. What's really cool though, is that Massive have actually implemented the ability to toggle the legacy variants of DLSS on if you wish to do so. So if you prefer the look of the old DLSS or you want that extra performance, you can do that. I would still say, from my personal experience, DLSS 4 makes this game look better. I just want to explain something if you can't tell much of a difference. I'm recording the gameplay, so that's compressed. I then export the video, which compresses it even more, and then I upload it to YouTube, which compresses it a third time. So the actual details are lost, but when you actually see it in person when you are playing the game, for example, Kay's hair does not flicker as much. There is less artifacting, which I really appreciate with DLSS 4 over the previous version. Overall, I would say the lighting of the game and the shadows and details and things like that do look better on DLSS 4 as well. However, with the sky in the background, there is this artifacting that's going on. Now, this is not specific or an issue to Star Wars Outlaws. This is a DLSS 4 artifact issue. It happens across various games using DLSS 4. So if this is distracting to you, then you have the option at least to go back to the old model, which is great. I think that is fantastic from Massive. So thumbs up for them for doing that, because I don't personally play any other game that has done that with previous iterations of DLSS. Continuing on with the patch notes, they have improved PSSR, so they've updated it to the latest version for PS5 Pro users. So for those of you that were complaining about various things like foliage flickering, you will see some improvement there, much like on Jedi Survivor. I have seen a bunch of people say it's certainly much better. Foliage specifically is largely improved. It definitely is now better to use over FSR, but you do still have the option for either if you wish to do so. It's not perfect, and some people will see it more as an issue than others. It's just personal preference. Now on to 2 bug fixes that scale across all platforms, so Xbox, PC and PlayStation. They have fixed an issue where Kay could not dismount the speeder when in a steep decline, and they've also fixed an issue where audio from overhead ships would be louder than expected. When this update did first come out, a bunch of players on PlayStation 5 did have an issue where it was saying error Rancor and asking you to install Wildcard even though they had Wildcard installed. Within just a couple of hours, Massive fixed this, so that's all sorted now. Even though someone did find a workaround, it's now been resolved, so not a problem whatsoever, you can continue to play. I just thought I'd mention that in case anyone that tried the game as soon as the update did drop then came to find this error screen. So that's Title Update 5.1, just a small update for this moment in time to improve stability and the visuals of the game, but there's still more to come from this game. I know some people were saying on Reddit and things like that, this is the final update for the game. No, we have a second DLC coming, a substantial DLC featuring Hondo this spring, so stay tuned for updates on that. Like I said earlier in the video, still no indication when it will be released, but hopefully we'll hear something in the near future, potentially at Celebration in April. I also wanted to share some other updates relating to Star Wars Outlaws. So the Art of Star Wars Outlaws book, which I am very, very excited to see and get in my hands, has been delayed unfortunately by a few weeks depending on your region. So it was supposed to come out on July 8th, but it is now coming out at the end of July, in the US at least, and then in the UK it's now August. This isn't some major conspiracy like some people have been saying that, oh, it's been cancelled, whatever. The Jedi Survivor art book was delayed for almost an entire year, and that game was far more popular than this game and stuff like that. It just happens in the publishing world, so nothing to read into here, but just I want to make you guys aware. Plus, we do actually have a bunch of preview pages, which I will share on screen, which I have been showing on screen for the past few seconds. It's just full of incredible artwork. I cannot wait to finally be able to read all 200 pages of this book in July. Some unfortunate news relating to the game: it did not win the Grammy it was nominated for. It was nominated for the Best Video Game Soundtrack at the Grammys this week, but unfortunately did lose to Wizardry, Proving Grounds of the Mad Overlord. I was really hoping we'd get a Star Wars back-to-back Grammy with Jedi Survivor last year and Outlaws this year, but it's unfortunate, it's a shame. It's a great soundtrack and I would have loved to have seen it actually win an award and show up a lot of people that hate on this game far too much for stupid reasons. That said, the game has actually won a bunch of awards. For example, it's won a bunch of accessibility awards, photo mode awards and stuff like that, so it's really great to see that there are people celebrating this game for the great work it does do in parts of the game that it really excels in, such as accessibility. It's a game that does stuff that very few games haven't done, or there's even a feature that really pushes accessibility, audio described cutscenes, which no other game has done before. So hats off to the team that actually put that together in Star Wars Outlaws, and I'm glad to see their work is being recognised by those that it actually means a lot to. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about in this video, so please do let me know down in the comment section below, and remember to drop a like to help support the channel, subscribe so you don't miss any future Star Wars Outlaws videos, and if you did miss any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.